creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous. They'll linger in the dark. Climb from below. Temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms. What is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God. And Obelisk come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul. Dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life. All my people in my kingdom point the way. There's a small price to pay. To God I pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher the highest height. And the lower the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God. And Obelisk come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul. Dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen. My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen.
Awaken your soul. Dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind. Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous. They'll linger in the dark. Climb from below. Temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms. What is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God. And Obelisk come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul. Dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life. All my people in my kingdom point the way. There's a small price to pay. To God I pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher the highest height. And the lower the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God. And wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous. They'll linger in the dark. Climb from below. Temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms. What is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God. And Obelisk come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul. Dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life for my people. Can my kingdom point the way? That's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher the highest height. And the lower the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God. And Obelisk come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul. Dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden. I have been chosen. My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden. I have been chosen.
Awaken your soul. Dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and sharpen up your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hello everyone, welcome to the next stage in the Osiris League Season 7 playoffs. Really excited to be joining you for our second set of matches today, starting at 15 UTC. If you missed it, I was here at the 13 UTC match where we got to see 1V face off against 93L, and I'm not going to give a spoiler alert away. You definitely need to go rewatch that match, but one of the teams won. So what I want to do today for you, though, 15 UTC matchup, we've got E301 versus 93T. Now, 93, Kingdom 93, has 3 alliances inside of this round of 16 for Realm of Horus. I'm excited to bring you 2 of those today. One of them I did earlier, and one we're doing right now. Now, the other one played already at the 13 UTC matchup, and I'm going to show you, spoiler alert, what's going on here. So let me go and jump to the in-game camera. And here we go. This is the Realm of Horus round of 16 bracket. Now, obviously, the one in gold is where we're at. This is the match that you got to see at 13 UTC. 1V versus 93L with me. 93L going down. 1V proving too difficult. 2-time champions. Really pulling it out and really dominating that matchup. Now, we also got to see 93P win against INSL. Now, 93P, the second of the 3 teams from Kingdom 93. And then again today, right now here in just under a minute or so, we're going to get to see 93T, the third team, or one of the 3 teams, I should say, go up against E301. Now, again, this is Kingdom 301. This is Kingdom 93. So we've got two really quality teams facing off against each other. I'm interested to see how this plays out because, again, 93T is a known quantity. I haven't really gotten a whole lot for E301 as far as their abilities in matches, but as you can see, they've only lost 1 out of their 8 matches to make it to the round of 16. Now, on the other side, we have some familiar names as well. We've got JST here, leading the charge, a prior season champion as well. We also have 84OF, Mimi, 419E. We got a lot of teams here that can do some damage in this playoff bracket system. Now, with that being said, we're going to jump in the match in just a minute or so. In fact, let me go ahead and see if it's available right now. In fact, it might be. Look at that. We are ready to rock and roll. Let me go through this. Now, again, this is going to be on a bit of a delay. I want to make sure that you're aware because it's about 12 minutes or so. Reason being, the sentry skill that these teams use has a 12-minute duration. And I'm going to be showing you all of these things as we go into the match. So this will be broadcast 12 minutes later, so there's no benefit to either team from stream sniping your official cast. Now, before we get started, and as I go through this quick little thing that you see as you log into the match, I want to put everybody on chat here. Anybody on chat, make sure that you put your favorites to win in chat. Make sure you put your pledge in. I'm hiding the skills now as well because I can see both sets of skills for the Alliance. And here we go. Let's go ahead and jump into the match and see how things are playing out. We have 1 minute and 20 until this match starts up. I've got E301 in the blue. We've got 21, 22, 23. Plus 5 is 28. So we're still short 2 players for the blue team. Conversely, we've got the red team, 93T, 21, 27, 28, 29, and 30. They are all in. They are here and ready to rock and roll. We've got some familiar names. We got some familiar teams. Let's see if we have some familiar strategies as we see this match play out. I'm really looking forward to seeing any kind of upstart changes as the blue team starts to come in again and try and upend the known quantity of 93T. 301 is not new by any means, but I don't know if I've ever seen them make the round of 16. I may be off, but just off of recollection, this is what I'm thinking. So this team looking to do a little bit of an upset as the votes are in and 68% think 93T are going to win the matchup. Again, we do have the red team 93T, one of the 3 teams in Kingdom 93 to make the round of 16. That is no small feat. As the match starts in 1 second, let's see how this pops off. Speaking of pops off, Popo in the, probably pronounce something different, but I'm calling it Popo. We've got the marches coming out for the 93T red team. This is the Tigers of 93. We had the Lions earlier going down to reigning champions 1034, or 2-time champions, I should say, 1034 1v team. And 93T pouring out. We do see some skills already popping off. Hidden sentries being used across the board. E301 getting off to a fast start with their T1 march going north and south. That is the right play. Already taken. Outpost already taken. That's very quick. We have a double C Genghis Khan, which is one of the fastest marches in the game. I think if you add William possibly or Nevsky, it might be a smidge faster, maybe, or it might be the same. Now we see the Obelisk about to be captured by 93T right here. First capture of an Obelisk taken out. 2 outposts being taken from both teams. This Obelisk a little bit slower, but not by much. It's not going to be too significant. It's about 10 seconds. Conversely, we have this Obelisk being taken relatively quickly by the E301 team, but even a little bit quicker by the 93T red team. Both Obelisks taken 5 to 10 seconds faster on the red side. Now, we do like to see if there's any kind of rallies coming up through the middle. We do have marches at least coming up through the middle, which is not a bad idea. If you're wanting to harass the outpost, rallies are usually not the answer because you can only put 500,000 troops in an outpost rally, making it really not that much more effective than a single march with 200, 300,000 troops. Now, we, of course, are going to be keeping an eye on the desert altars from both sides. We want to see the fights that pop off there. We did see a little bit of a push for an Obelisk very early on in the last set of matches from 93L. I'm curious if their kingdom mates decide to go with the same strategy, or if they go a little bit more conventional and try and push on towards the desert altar and take this away. So we do see 93T arriving very early to this desert altar on the E301 side. Desert altar being one of the highest generating point buildings in the match. You have a total of 4. 2 for each side is the way it's supposed to be, but again, your job is to take away your opponent's structures and start generating points for your own buildings. We do see a rally passing their own desert altar for E301. We see 93T really positioning forward really aggressively with some of their earlier marches. These are Nevsky primary, XY primary, and Huo primary buildings or marches here. We do see this rally breaking for 93T in support of a desert altar push. 116 seconds until the desert altar opens up to be captured by either team. Rally going for Nevsky as well. Now, again, rally going for the Obelisk. This may actually go full blast for the Obelisk, or they may push towards the Sky Altar. We'll have to see what their strategy ends up being when we see buildings starting to blink. Now, we do see 93T with a rally coming through the congregation area of E301, but E301 not quite as aggressive on the positioning as 93T was on the opposite side, and 93T taking advantage of that, really pushing E301 off the field as quickly as possible before they can get rallied together and trying to attack their own desert altar with just over a minute left until this starts to really be available to take. Desert altar on the other side as well. Big push for 93T in front of this desert altar, making it a little bit more easily taken by the red team with 1 minute until this building opens up for capture. 93T putting a little bit of a buffer between all the marches coming in from E301, not only from the home base, but also because this is captured 30 seconds later, we're going to start to see cities porting into there quickly as well. But 93T quickly owning this fight. My goodness, E301 just not putting enough marches this direction. I'm not quite sure. Lots of marches going to the Shrine of Life, however, with 30 seconds left there. Let's see how this fight's going off. 93T dominating the open field. We do see 93T marches going back with sad faces, but it's looking like from a positioning standpoint and an overall coverage standpoint, 93T really taking the offensive here and dominating. I expect to see at least 3 of the 4 altars going red as soon as these open up in just over 10 seconds. We do see this Obelisk also being rallied. The Henry, let's see, what's the second rally or second commander? The new Archer commander is with that as a second commander. This is a strong march or strong rally, but unfortunately not really looking strong enough. Interesting though, these buildings went blue. That's very curious. The fight was won on both of these desert altars by 93T. They're going to have to take them back because it looks like they've already been filled up. The marches are cleared from the open field on the blue team though, and this will eventually both go back red, but that's a bit of a delay in generation of points. I think that was a little bit of an oversight on 93T. They did want to clear the field though, and that's exactly what they did. This desert altar going down in favor of the red team. Almost. There we go. There was like 13 troops left in that march, and they are sent back with a sad face as well. So now we do, again, as we predicted, have 3 altars that are red right now, 2 desert altars and 1 sky altar. We do have a rally hitting on the Obelisk here, and it actually is kind of dangerously low. This Nevsky Joan not joking around, wanting to take care of this Obelisk of 93T. I just don't think it's going to have enough with the swarming from these 2 players from 93T taking care of business and holding it down relatively well. We do have this Obelisk, being heavy swarmed. And again, this is because 93T dominated so heavily on the initial fight from E301. They were able to come up here with relatively full marches and swarm this Obelisk down, making all these cities really expend some troops, not only to garrison this building to keep it up, but also to spend more troops killing these swarming marches. This may still hold up in favor of E301, but it's going to be devastating from a numbers standpoint. They're going to either have to have a lot of power, which this guy has right here, to kind of alleviate the the downside of this move by 93T, or they're going to have to use some healing speed ups to heal some troops. So this is a win for 93T in general, just because it's causing more troops to be expended by the enemy team, but also it's going to get their troops back very quickly, as you see with these sad faces running back, very quick to get back to their cities, except for the weird pathing that just happened right there. Desert Altar, though, still holding firm here for 93T. Maybe they should have kept those marches here to defend this Desert Altar, to hold it a little bit longer. Zenobia is the choice for the garrison for 93T, and it's not a bad choice at all. I would say if it's Zenobia YSS, you can still use cavalry marches here, but again, a lot of folks are really starting to transition this Zenobia garrison to your Jadwigas, your Yans, and even your mixed troop commanders like Dido and Heraclius. So curious to see if this is going to be their choice going forward, or if this is just what was available and had the most troops to be the garrison. Now we do see, let's see over here on the Sky Altar. I'm not seeing anything. Uh-oh. Let's see what happens here. Let me go ahead and go to the solo cam. Let's see what happened here. Network was a little unstable. We might be able to load back in. I'm hoping so, because there's some action going on here. And there we go. I think we're getting it. Here we go. We're back inside. I'm not sure what happened there, but we have the both vision here now too. So we see all the vision going up. We do see hidden sentries being placed on the map by both teams. The Sky Altar did go still blue. This is still blue, but again, this is very close to going down. It went down. Look at all these blue marches that are around the Sky Altar, and they still let it go red. 93T taking a few points away from the clutches of E301. That's exactly what 93T was hoping for. Now E301 swarming this building back down, but the damage is slightly done, as all four altars were red at one point. This is now still red, although Zenobia is looking a little suspect. It is generating points for the red team, 93T. 93T holding this as long as humanly possible. 3.5 minutes until this middle fight starts, and we do see already both teams positioning forward, but looks like 93T is here earlier and positioned more heavily in one spot. We do see E301 trying to trickle into the middle, but this may be too little too late. We do see 93T heavier in the middle, more quickly, more organized. E301, on the other hand, trickling in from all directions, not really having a cohesive unit coming to the middle. And that's because, again, they're still trying to get their Desert Altar back, and it's going very well for 93T, although it does look like it will eventually go back down in favor of the blue team. A nice reinforcement there to keep it just a smidge longer. And there it goes back down to the blue team. There's still plenty of red here to do a little bit of work, but it looks like red has done the job, and 93T has done a great job of positioning themselves in front of the Temple of Osiris, and then also E301 trying to recover from all those building losses at the very beginning of the match. 93T, I think, has gotten the best start so far, if it's just me. Everybody in chat, let me know what you think, if you think E301 did what they needed to do at the beginning of this match, or if 93T has gotten the significant advantage. And I think this is self-evident, considering, look at the actual point totals here. We're at 3,200 advantage already. 93T may be running away with this before this match even starts. Has the Ark of Osiris area already secured. Temple of Osiris is cleared. Let's see if we have any blue marches coming around the back end. Looks like they're still starting to pour into the middle. This is not the play. Anybody on the outside lanes for E301 needs to start going towards the outsides for the counterattack. We do need to see which direction 93T decides to take this, and if they decide they want to capture it very quickly. That's the other question. With 93T dominating this so massively in the middle, I really don't see a benefit for them holding it very much longer, other than just maybe practicing their strategy for later in the matchups if they end up winning this matchup. But so far, it's looking very good for 93T. 5,700 points to 2,300 points. We're over 3,000 in the positive for 93T already. And we don't see, from a points per minute standpoint, a lot of the buildings being captured for E301 just yet. So this will close up a little bit, but we do have a first capture still available, I think, on this building. And it almost went down to this Justinian rally is causing some damage to the Sky Altar. The work being done by this rally is devastating. 20 seconds until this captures for the blue team, but I think this is first point generating capture too. So if this gets recaptured by the red team again before this timer goes off, that's another 750 points that will go towards the red team if that were to happen. Now, I think a lot of the red team is, in fact, in the middle. So even if this is captured, 2 seconds, 1 second, blue gets it. just before the red. Oh my goodness. That timing was impeccable. E301 lucking out at the very last second to grab those points for the first capture for that, but lost it right as soon as they grabbed it. This Desert Altar being led by Nevsky, not the best garrison, but you use what you use. 93T, though, coming in after absolutely decimating everything in the middle. The Ark isn't even spawned yet, and they've completely cleared the middle of the field here. Now, red team really focusing on the middle and the altars, whereas blue team E301 are really focusing on the structures too. So we do have an outpost being captured by E301. We also have the Shrine of Life, which is a lot more valuable than that used to be in the past. Troop health and march speed, 5% increased bonuses from the Shrine of Life, whereas before it was a healing speed bonus, which was not nearly as beneficial as these two. Speed is life in Osiris League and Ark of Osiris platforms. There is a garrison there at least a little bit, so there'll be a little bit of a delay, but I do see a lot of blue buildings getting the blinking treatment from 93T. This one looks a little bit more dangerous on this bottom lane from 93T, trying to take this away from the E301 team. Now, we do have, again, the Ark being captured by 93T and bringing it back, looks like towards the Obelisk area. So, again, not looking for the quickest capture. This may be the safest capture, though. So, we'll see if they divert towards their Desert Altar, which is relatively clear. In fact, it's completely clear. 93T has done a great job of warding off all of the folks from E301 and taking their structures. Now, again, looking at the structures here, 450 to 290 points per minute in favor of Scuffed Tigers 93T. It is a 3,000 point match already in favor of 93 Tigers. And again, they have a 3,000 point Ark of Osiris, at least for now, in their pockets, heading towards their safe area on the bottom lane. Shrine of Life taken back by 93T away from E301. Desert Altar is just so clear. You could walk it right in if that was their strategy, but it does look like, again, their strategy is to bring it back to the Obelisk to do a little quick reset. Now, also their strategy is to take the enemy's Desert Altar again, which they've done about 40 seconds ago, 50 seconds ago. E301 trying desperately to grab this Desert Altar back on their top lane. This has been a bugaboo for them the entire match so far. They absolutely got decimated on the open field by the top team of 93T. This 93 open field team is no joke, absolutely decimating all these marches coming in before it even gets to touch the Desert Altar, half health or less on all of these blue marches because they're getting swarmed on the way. 93T just doing work in the middle of the field here. No skills being used on either side as well for open field fights. The middle fight was over before it began, so no skills being used there too. Looks like this Ark is beelining possibly to Tyler Bowie's city here. Not sure if that's going to be the drop-off point or if they're just going to go ahead and park it right here as they start to reset. 3 altars are still red right now. Ark is captured, so that is a very telling maneuver here. We look to see a high point total coming out of 93T. That's their plan anyway. E301 is going to have to recover very quickly because the timer is already reset. 8 minutes until the Ark is respawned. More fights coming in on the Desert Altar area on the top lane around E301's teleport zone for the Obelisk. Let's check out the Sky Altar. This looks relatively even-ish. Lots of open field marches are available here for 93T to address this issue, and a solid Yon garrison in the structure as well. Shrine of Life, this is basically handled at this point. Sky Altar on the bottom lane, though, looking very dangerous for the 93T team. Rally goes down. E301 does destroy that rally, but maybe still loses the structure, and there it is. 93T disrupting the point generation on that Sky Altar away from 93OT. 93T doing exactly what they want to do to have a very fast start when it comes to this matchup and doing exactly what they want to do here. E301 winning this field fight area here, but still all 4 altars are currently blue or currently red. One just turns blue again, that Sky Altar, but the timer has been reset and no points are being generated from that building. Zenobia YSS is the choice here. Again, not the worst, not the best, but it is very, very good, especially better than the Guans and the Nevskis and the Boudica Primes that I've been seeing all throughout of this Osiris League Season 7 season. Red, again, is that Sky Altar on the bottom lane as well. Fight's still going on. 93T doing everything that they need to be doing to really decimate the E301 team early and often. This is becoming quite a rout right off the bat with 40 minutes left in this matchup. It's already an 11,500 match to 5,000. That is a 6,600 point advantage just 10, 15 minutes into this match. If this continues on the same pace that we're looking at a 20 to 30,000 point delta with a 93T win. But E301 is capable. They made it to the round of 16. There is 4 altars red right now, but E301 is capable. They made it to the round of 16 to be able to get here in the first place. They've got marches on the field doing some work, but 93T just absolutely wrecking. We do have a Freddy primary. Watch out. We have a Barcha primary here from 93T. Freddy rally or Freddy march on the field. That was likely a reinforcing march that was coming out to get sent back home. We do have the Sky Altar again, still red with all these blue marches. This should be blue right away, and it looks like it actually is going to go blue here momentarily. As soon as this Archer March gets out of my way, I can see what the actual health bar is. There it goes. It goes blue. That's what E301 needs to do, because E301 right now is on their back foot. We're looking at, again, over a 6,000 point match. We're at a 7,000 point match in favor of 93T, and 93T absolutely working the points per minute advantage that they've been getting due to their activity on the field, and their structure game has been on point. We do see the buildings starting to even up from a color standpoint, but points are not generating the way that E301 needs to have to get back into this matchup. 7,000 point delta already, and not being able to keep your structures and not winning mid fights. It's a bad combination if you want to move on to the quarterfinals. We see more fighting happening around this desert altar. We see more fighting happening down here at this desert altar, although 93T already positioning towards the middle. 5 minutes remain until this temple spits out the Ark of Osiris and allows them to capture it for another 3,500 points on this next arc. We have one march coming in from E301. Maybe got pathed incorrectly, or this might be a assault on the outpost kind of structure or kind of march. And it looks like that's exactly what it is, but he is not going to make it. There is marches upon marches upon marches of 93T coming his way. He is not going to get to his destination and decides to go swimming in the sea of 93T. It's not a good sea if you're on the blue team. That sea is going to be devastating. Lots of jellyfish stinging away as you get marched down to your death. Conversely, Desert Altar being heavily assaulted by E301. 93T holding firm. Not a whole lot of marches on the open field, though, to support this garrison. So it looks like most of the marches going to the middle for 93T. Most of the marches for E301, however, going towards this Desert Altar structure. Some marches coming back from 93T to help support, but it may not be enough. This is a contingent that's heavy enough to be able to do some damage against this Desert Altar. As you can see, the health bar going down relatively quickly. We do see Temple of Osiris. Both sentries are placed here. This can be destroyed by 93T. In fact, that looks like exactly what they're doing, I would think. There we go. 93T taking out this sentry, which is exactly what they should do. Now, no vision. 93T, however, has all this vision. Just curious, how are E301 able to see the Temple of Osiris? Is this always visible? It'd be interesting if it is. Or is there like a hidden sentry in here somewhere? Not sure. Either way, lots more vision for 93T than it is for E301. 93T positioning forward again, just like they did last time, and earlier than E301, just like they did last time. And E301 is, again, trickling in just like last time. That's not a good recipe if you are an E301 member, because you saw what happened last time. You want to try and avoid the outcome that happened last time from 93T. 93T positioning exactly the way they should. Lots of members in the middle, pouring in. I think they're looking at this as maybe an easier fight than they need to be. So lots of members coming to the aid of this Desert Altar from 93T. In fact, a march coming in to hopefully go inside if you're a 93T player. It's very dangerously low. This may drop. There's a rally on it, which is causing the majority of the damage. Not able to swarm this rally down quickly enough. This march coming in from Sham, looking to save the day, and not quick enough. E301 takes the Desert Altar away from 93T. That's the kind of plays they need to get back into this game. Because right now it's a 7,000 point match, and it's not looking any prettier from a points per minute perspective. E301 with a slight advantage in the middle. Different story. 93T addressing the problems. E301 on the open field. 93T absolutely pushing everything off of the middle and off of the Temple of Osiris area so that their VJK almost half dead. I would probably go and tap something just to get that extra charge talent activated from VJK. Looking to bring this march back again with a very nice looking Ark of Osiris 3,500 point worth and take that back to one of their buildings again. Again, structure-wise, E301 looking very strong here, taking Shrine of Life and Desert Altar away from 93T. making 93T peel marches off from the middle to address, but unfortunately for the mid-fight of E301, 93T has already routed the majority of the marches that are coming and staying in the middle from E301, the blue team. 93T really looking to press their initiative, though, after this mid-fight push and starting to come to the sides here, addressing maybe a Desert Altar change when it comes to the ownership of that building. Same thing over here. Shrine of War looks under heavy duress eventually here. We do see, again, Desert Altar on the bottom lane getting addressed. The open field is getting absolutely cleared by 93T of E301. We're going back with sad faces. More marches coming down from this lane, which is smart by E301, but it might not be quickly enough as this Henry garrison is not going to cut the mustard. 93T absolutely swarming this down. Shrine of Life under assault again. 93T is blue, so they did take it away a minute ago and are looking to hold, at least get some generated points, and it's not bad. 80 points per minute for the shrines is nothing to sneeze at, especially if you can stack a couple of those together. That's better than an altar. More buildings in blue, but more points for red. So that's the tail of the tape here. 15,000 points for the Scuffed Tigers of 93T. We do see 7,800 points for the Comics Hunter of E301. But again, that's a big difference this early in the game. We have 34 minutes left in this matchup, and we're seeing a lot of devastating marches on the field from the 93T team. They're doing some work and a half, and causing all kinds of things to flip to the red color, and definitely causing all the arcs to go back in their favor. We'd have two almost dead marches from E301 trying to do something, and in fact, actually doing nothing but helping the speed of VJK by getting him below half health and activating that charge talent on the cavalry tree. See the Desert Altar taken back a minute ago by 93T. We do see a nicely placed sentry from E301 here to spot all this activity going on. Unfortunately, what they got to witness was all their marches going back with sad faces because 93T was able to clear them from the field. Now we do see, again, no real vision over here. It's pretty dark. All the activity at the buildings, though, we have Legend F here swarming with Cabo, taking back the Shrine of Life for 93T, bringing back that Shrine of Life into the 93T fold. We do have Sky Altar looking very dangerously low. 93T doing whatever they can to stop this swarm. But this is a heavy swarm with lots of max marches over here. We have lots of different debuffs as well, and a rally that's almost dead, but maybe not dead quickly enough. This Yon holding very strong, although I think eventually this will go down in favor of the blue team. But 93T coming in at the last second, maybe not. I might have spoken too soon. We have 93T really holding strong here. We do need some more reinforcements coming into the Sky Altar here if 93T wants to hold this. Lots of blue structure, lots of blue marches still swarming this structure. More blue marches coming down. This may go down for blue. I may have spoke correctly. Although, again, you just never know. You just never know. This is looking very strong for both teams. Nice swarm on the Yon garrison here, but nice garrison from 93T. This is holding very firmly, a lot more firmly than I think E301 anticipated. One more garrison would help out a bunch from 93T. There it is. It pops in there for just a moment, but there's still plenty of half and full health marches swarming this. This may go down again in favor of the blue team with just a sliver of health left on this garrison. Not quite enough. Oh, there goes the garrison's health, and there goes the actual structure. As soon as Yon died, the structure died. That's what you usually see whenever you have these types of situations. There's the backup Yon, not quite making it there in time to get switched to. And now we have Tariq here garrisoning the structure when he should be assaulting a structure. Desert Altar, though, taken back by 93T against E301. This is supposed to be blue in color, but the red team has it, at least for right now. Blue, E301 coming down to try and take this thing back. 7 minutes, 25 seconds until this arc respawns. They did capture it almost right away. We do see almost a 20,000 point total for 93T versus only 9,250 for E301. So we're seeing already almost a 10,000 point. In fact, it is over 10,000 point advantage in favor of the red team right now. Heraclius is the choice for the garrison for the top layer of 93T. We do see the Sky Altar going back down in favor of the red team, but again, damage done by E301, delaying the point generation. And if we look, E301 is still down from a points per minute standpoint to 93T, but it was a lot worse. Sky Altar over here, heavy assault. Look at all this damage being done. Let's go ahead and turn on some in-game volume so you can hear a little bit of this, at least maybe a little bit, besides my voice. Yeah, this is looking very strong for 93T, doing everything that they want to at will. And if this continues to play out with 30 minutes remaining in this matchup, it's looking like two teams from 93 may be able to not squeak in, they've been pretty dominant actually, into the next round of this playoff system. We're looking really good here. See Ultima coming up with marches to support this, although it does go down right in front of him, so he's going to be coming in from a swarming capacity here very shortly. But there's tons of marches here from 93T that are likely going to swarm this back down. Keeping on popping this back and forth does nothing but help 93T. Sky Altar over here back in red with a full garrison and only a few marches, including one that's a garrison from E301. 93T pushing the initiative over to the Shrine of Life, trying to do a little bit of damage here before another arc spawns very soon. In fact, 93T noticing that as well, saying, hey, let's go to the middle and do that thing again where we score a bunch of points for our team. 3 altars still red at the moment. 30 seconds ago being taken by red on the bottom lane here on the Sky Altar. 93T is doing a textbook win against a team that they should beat. Again, I don't have a whole lot of backstory to E301. They've gotten to the round of 16, so they're a quality team. But 93T has been around for almost 5 years. So this may be a situation where this is this is a veteran team with veteran strategists, with veteran accounts, with veteran commanders, with veteran equipment that may be winning the day. If you got all those things check marking in your column, you're going to be performing at a high level. 25 seconds until the Desert Altar starts ticking back for E301 in their favor. They're moving heavy towards the Shrine of War, while 93T skipping by the Shrine of War, saying, you know what? The middle's where the points are at. That's exactly what they're going to be doing. Maybe they'll shave a few of these off to save this Shrine of War, but Jan has been holding very firm for 93T. Now, this is a 1 million troop structure. It's not a 1.5 like an altar is, so it's a little bit harder to defend against a heavy swarm, especially if it's a rally plus swarm, but it is doable as long as you can take out the swarmers and also reinforce correctly. But a lot of the marches that would be doing that for 93T are going to the middle, so this may not actually work out for 93T, and E301 would then have the advantage here from a Shrine of War standpoint and be able to possibly cut off any reinforcements from 93T coming from this lane. We do see the Sky Altar, again, going back in favor of the red team. Joan Primary's garrison is not going to remain very much longer, but still disrupting the point generation, which, again, has been a big problem all match for E301. 93T has been almost doubling the points per minute generation majority of this match, and that's why you see an 11,500 point delta skewed in favor of the red team, 93T. Sky Altar looking under heavy duress. We have a rally plus swarm, although this Jan has been looking fantastic for the red team. This Jan here, however, not looking as fantastic, at least right now. Has been looking fantastic earlier. It will go down for blue at some point. There's just too much blue here swarming to make this actually stay red, unless we have some speedy marches coming in here to pop in at the last second. Hidden Sentry being used by E301. And just like that, Shrine of War goes blue. And again, just like I said, they're going to use this as a springboard to delay any type of reinforcement coming in the middle. Problem, though, 93T is already at the middle. In numbers, in force, and I'm not sure what these players are doing by themselves. E301 trying to come up from behind here to go ahead and try a little flanker pincer maneuver. Problem is there's not enough on this side, at least not yet, although this is a very heavy contingent of E301. I think this is the best assembly E301 has been able to put together this entire match. 93T, however, going to have to rely on the bottom lane, which has not been sending up much. They've instead been holding their structures and also taking the Desert Altar, looking like 93T might actually try and do the same thing that E3OT did, but not enough people here to do it. Only 2 marches remain in this contingent from 93T. Shrine of War, still blue. Bad garrison. 93T looking to take this back, at least from a point generation standpoint. 93T losing some marches, though, from a reinforcement standpoint on this top lane from these E301 marches that had just taken the Shrine of War. I just don't think it's enough in enough time. I will say, big big contingent from E301. They're doing what they need to do to try and win this next match. Does 93T aggress here? This is probably a decision they're trying to make right this second. E301 positioning down farther south, closer to the shrine here, the Temple of Osiris. I think 93T should push here. They have a decent number here to address this marches here, and the more that they allow E301 to assemble here, the more it's going to be harder for them to dislodge. Now, they do have 93T on the back end coming up, dust up being used by E301. Conversely, trying to get these guys a little bit slower and a little bit less vision. That's a good thing. This march getting caught out, this Boudica Prime getting the royal treatment from E301, getting sent back with a sad face here momentarily. That's a good march too. Boudica Prime with the new Archer Commander doing heavy AoE damage. That would have been strong for them to have in the middle. We do see more marches coming in for 93T, but it's a little bit later than they have been in the past. I don't know if this is a we're going to focus the structures, as they have 4 altars in red right now, and really taking to the mid-fight here with To the Death being used by both teams. Let's see how this plays out and see if they end up, if E301 ends up taking the advantage with having more players here. 93T I don't think has quite as many players in the middle here as E301, but I do see a lot more E301 marches going back, at least right now. To the Death should start kicking in very shortly against 93T, which you do see a few marches going back away from this middle fight, but 93T really putting the screws to this group of E301. We zoom out, we see a lot of sad faces going back home for the blue team. The numbers advantage from blue are getting whittled away minute by minute, second by second, and 93T doing exactly what they need to do to win this mid-fight alongside of, look at all of these buildings that are red. Everything is turning red. How is this happening? E301 absolutely abandoning their structures in favor of pushing the mid-fight, but they still didn't win the mid-fight. 93T, even with dust up on them, has been caused massive damage against the E301 team. This is not good for E301. This is the nail in the coffin, in my opinion. 23 minutes remaining in this match, and it's already a 13,000 point lead for 93T. And if 93T wins this middle fight, which it looks like they're about to do, this could be it. They already have the Arc. The Arc runner is running. It's Ralph. Ralph making the moves with his Joan Prime. We do have more marches over here for red to pick up the dropped Arc. We also do have a couple blue marches over here to cause some harassment, but again, just not enough blue in the middle to make any kind of damage worthwhile. Again, conversely, just everything is red. This is devastating for E301. E301 scrambling, trying to get their structures back, trying to get this Arc captured. They just don't have enough marches to go in every spot. And I mean, just 93T just doing what they need to do to put the nail in the coffin and seal this match's deal. Mid-fight is over. VJK, again with his double C. Julius. It's a decision. This is a decision. Double C with Julius. Walking back to the outpost. Absolutely giving zero worry about the enemy. This is one of the most dangerous pullbacks you can do in Arc. And they're just pulling it back with absolutely no care. We have 2 marches here. Looking to stop this half-dead Guan. Looks like the Desert Altar was taken back by the blue team. Henry-led garrison by 93T will eventually go down so that the blue team can get their altars back, but at what cost was that? This was almost 900 points per minute whenever the Desert Altar was red versus 210 points per minute for E301. Just not enough. E301 doing what they can, but 93T showing the class how it's done. Defenders already coming up towards the Shrine of Life to get some work done. Big fight over here around the Shrine of War. Trying to get the Shrine of War back is 93T. There is quite a bit of E301 here to do the defense and the swarm. But this may also still go down. Look at the health of the garrison. That Yan is looking dangerously low. Big swarm from 93T with big accessories and equipments on them. Lots of debuffs with the Guans getting thrown out there from both sides. This Yan looking very dangerous. Actually, Is that an XY garrison? I don't think so, right? It actually is. It is an XY garrison. You need to switch that, and just like that, there's the Jan. Jan's back in business. 20 seconds until it starts taking points for E301, but it may not be enough, and just like that, 15 seconds left. Oh, big reinforcements by E301 there. 93T thought they had it. E301 said, no thank you, although now we have a Nevsky garrison, which is not the worst in the world, but it's not Jan. They have captured it at least to start generating some points. There's still plenty of red here to do some damage and get it swapped over if no E301 pop into this garrison. There's 2 Boudica Primes. They could do it if they just attack the building. Stop attacking the open field. Take it. Take it. XY. Oh, there's another reinforced. The only person hitting it is this Nelson player here. If these 2 marches were hitting it, 3 marches were hitting it, it would have flopped red and disrupted the point cycle again. And now, looks like E301 will hold this at the last second. Desert Altar fight right here. E301 looking to hold their firm grasp on their own Desert Altar that they've been losing the entire matchup. 93T doing a bang-up job. Taking structures, holding structures, and absolutely decimating the middle. Is there anybody in the middle anymore? That's a big no. Big negative. Shrine of Life under assault by the blue team. Looks like it may actually go down. Big reinforcement from 93T to be able to hold that structure in favor of the red team. You have more reinforcements coming in as well, although they may not be quick enough. This is a heavy swarm by by E301, their blue team. Lots of red marches are doing what they can to address this issue. They need to hop in the building, though, which looks like it may be doing right now. There we go. Another reinforcement pops in for 93T. Rally going towards the Sky Altar as well with open field support. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a big fan of 93T. E301, however, defending their own Desert Altar from 93T, doing everything they can and being successful at holding this for right now. 93T looking for a counterattack. Reinforcements balling up, getting ready for another big push. Sky Altar under heavy assault as well, although this rally looks like it's about to go down. Open field marches from E301 may make it more difficult to hold, though. 93T holding firm, but there is a swarm on this building with some reinforcements coming in to do the same. 93T holding as best they can as they continue on to the middle fight again because they captured the arc so early. 4 minutes, 30 seconds until the 4th arc spawns. We've had 3 arcs captured already in this matchup. 17 minutes remain in this match, and it's looking again like a complete blowout from a 93T standpoint. E301 doing everything they can, but again, just kind of getting outclassed by 93T, whether it's from a veteran standpoint or a commander standpoint or an equipment standpoint or a strategy standpoint. 93T just doing what they need to do and seemingly being able to do whatever they want this entire match. Tariq not going to be able to pull it, although we do have reinforcements coming in. That rally goes down. The middle fight, again, looking very one-sided from 93T. In fact, there is no E301 coming to the middle. This one player here to hold down the fort of all the E301 coming in and not getting engaged, so deciding instead to go to the outpost and try and capture that or disrupt the point generation. Sky Altar held off, is still blue. 93T getting sent back home on that structure. Desert Altar, a little bit of a small skirmish, but the mid-fight's where it should be at, and unfortunately 93T came to the prom without their date. Temple of Osiris spawns an arc in 3.5 minutes. Looks like 93T has basically got this held down pretty firmly. E301 saying, wait a minute. Arc spawns in 3 minutes. We should probably get to the middle. 93T already done so. Again, because they're on top of the temple, E301 can see them. Now, conversely, 93T does not have a sentry over here, so they cannot see what's coming from E301. So the visibility fight right now is in favor of 93T, or in favor of E301, at least for a little bit. The problem is the numbers are in favor of 93T. So visibility does help, and it does help win, but troops and marches help more. And that's the strategy and the motto that 93T is going with in this mid-fight. Don't need to see what we're about to fight. They need to come and see us to fight, because we're going to stamp right on top of this Temple of Osiris. and you're going to have to dislodge us. And so far, the entire match, they have not been able to do so. Now, Desert Altar does get taken back by the blue team. Total Vision already being used. That means 93T is about to push, which is pretty crazy considering. Or no, I'm sorry. Was that used by E301? Who can use it? That ain't it. Maybe I'm missing it. Right now, 93T is completely balled up by the middle and has plenty of marches here to ward off anything that E301 has been able to go so far. They do have their Desert Altar again. Lost it for a few seconds. Desert Altar being manned by Boudica Prime now was Guan. Mid-fight doesn't look like much of a mid-fight at all. We have both teams using Total Vision. And the few marches that came to the middle fight for E301 getting sent back. Probably a little aggravated that they didn't have any buddies come along with them. Looking for some friends. 93T, plenty of friends. Plenty of friends in their middle fight. Shrine of Life getting heavily assaulted by E301. This Yan doing everything it can to hold firm. We have some reinforcements coming in from one player, so that won't be as good as multiple players, but it does go down in favor of blue team. So blue team taking that structure, disrupting some point generation. Dust Up being used as well by E301, making it a little bit slower for this big mass of 93T to come over and assault their shrine and their Desert Altar. This is a problem. E301 leaving. E301 leaving, then saying, wait a minute, they're going to come from the side. And they have no vision. So here's the problem. They don't know what's coming to this Desert Altar. They're leaving, going after the Shrine of War. Not knowing this biomass of 93T coming over here to absolutely swarm this Desert Altar down. How many people come back? I think these guys are just throwing up the deuces and saying, we're going after the Shrine of War. Good luck. And these four players, these four poor souls, are getting wrecked by the massive ball of 93T. Rally coming in for that Shrine of War too. E301 trying to do what they can to take some buildings. Looks like 93T took their Shrine of Life back on the bottom lane, which is good for them. This is going to go down in favor of the red team. I can almost guarantee it. I can put my stamp, my Dragothian stamp of approval on it. Got a rally and heavy swarm and heavy open field. Now some of the players from, after having been swarmed down a little bit and losing almost all of your troops, are coming back in aid of the Desert Altar. Yan screaming, where have you gone? Why have you abandoned me? And just like that, 93T takes the Desert Altar with a heavy biomass of troops. And now the marches coming back in defense are also going to get re-swarmed down again. So they got swarmed down going on the way down. Rally's finally hitting the Shrine of War. And then they're like, wait, we need to go up here and defend this. So they came back up and now they're getting swarmed down again. 93T playing mind games, playing chess. E301 doing what they can, but it's very reactionary, and they're doing everything they possibly can from a team standpoint. But 93T showing their age and showing why they're scuffed tigers. They've been through it once or twice. 3 altars currently red. This one looks to stay red for quite some time. Even with the swarm, it's going to be enough. With more reinforcements on the way and more reinforcements north that could come back. This rally, Tariq Bakal, not bad. But with the swarm, the counter swarm, and the garrison, that should be enough. Should be. This Zenobia getting dangerously low. Much more low than it probably should. But again, these swarmers are almost dead. Shrine of Life goes down in favor of the red team as well with a major push, just like on the other side. Sky Altar also under assault, although not as heavy. Although it is starting to get a little bit more reinforcement. This might actually still go in favor of 93T. Sky Altar is still red. They've held it so far. We do have a lot of red marches still on the field to kill these swarming marches. And there's plenty of reinforcements here too, so this will hold. Desert Altar still holding red. 15 seconds until it starts ticking points for them. 590 to 360, but this is about to shift in a big way. already with a 20,500 point lead is 93T. 93T really doing all the work against their opponent. Desert Altar goes red. Shrine of War starts counting down to go red. A minute to go. Sky Altar starts counting down to go red. 15 seconds ago. E301 just doing everything they can. Arc Carrier. Right to the Desert Altar. Now, there might be one more arc that will spawn. There's 9 minutes, 48 seconds, 8 minutes until it'll spawn. It will definitely spawn, but will they be able to get it back to the outpost or Desert Altar quickly enough? That's the question. Again, is it necessary? Absolutely not. It's 42,000 points to 16,000 points in favor of 93T. Again, E301 making it to the round of 16 for a reason. Solid team. They know what to do. They've got a decent strategy. But again, there's different tiers, right? And you can see clearly that 93T is on a different tier than E301. Still a great fight. Still great fights to commentate. Commentate. Cast. Whatever term you want to use. But again, it's very. I mean, look at the map. It's almost all red. There's 2 outposts and 2 obelisks that are blue still, and that's it. Everything else is red. They just captured another arc, their 3rd arc, I believe. And then now they're going to go for their 4th. I bet they're going to go for it. There's already a march in the middle. Season 6 champion, 1v. Season 5 champion, 1v. Last 2 champions, looking good. They won their match earlier today. We do see a big contingent of E301 starting to come down towards the Desert Altar of 93T. 93T looks like they're going to have plenty to address it as it makes its way down. Shrine of Life going back blue. That's good for them. Get a little bit of buffs back. Get a little bit of points back. But unfortunately, 890 points per minute to 100 points a minute usually skews one way. And that one way is red team with 43,000 points. So very strong for 93T. Good showing from 93T. 93P also winning their matchup earlier today. The left side bracket are all playing right now too for the Realm of Horror. So we're going to get to see who's got that bowl flowing. See who ends up making it to the next round. So far, though, 93T going to be moving to the next round here. It's almost a 30,000 point match. If they win the next arc and are able to speed it towards one of the buildings, again, I want a team to have master strategy on their alliance skill bar and test to see if you can transport an arc carrier with the arc somewhere else. So again, 5 minutes, 50 seconds until this next arc spawns. If you have 30 players here, they only need 1. They've got a T1 march to make it faster. But if you have 30 players here or whatever, 30 players or less, that's what you want. And you have master strategy on your skill bar. You capture the arc 10 seconds after it spawns. You can start casting the master strategy skill immediately, or you can try and pre-time it and cast it as soon as the timer closes on the temple and the arc pops, and then teleport the arc carrier instantly to a building. I'm wondering if that's possible. I've been asking for weeks for somebody to test this out. If you are one of those people who have tested it out in the chat, make sure that you put it in the chat one way or another so I can stop asking and everybody will know a possible strategy if it actually does work. Because right now, you're going to have a very small amount of time. 4 minutes, 48 seconds on the arc timer and 6 minutes, 20 seconds on the match timer. That's about a minute and a half. Usually a minute and 45 seconds is about where you're looking for the arc carry. So it's going to be tough. Now, if they have running charge, that could help. If they have Swift Stride, that could help. If they have both of the Shrines of Life, that could help. Lots of ways to get March speeds bonuses in Ark of Osiris and Osiris League. Now, Desert Altar looking to go down here, but 93T holding firm. Zenobia doing her job. Big fights trying to take this structure down, and it looks like they may actually get it done, but nope. Last second reinforcement by 93T holds it just a little bit longer. I think eventually E301 will take this back, but it's going to be a little bit longer. Obelisk under assault by one player. Hidden Sentry for 93T. Shrine of War getting some heavy fights around it. And this Desert Altar is still red, at least for the moment. Might not get these reinforcements just in time for 93T, but do they really need more points? Of course they do. They're going to say they do anyway, but really they don't. Nice last second reinforcement to hold that for another 10 seconds or so, but it will go down blue. Shrine of War fights over here looking very strong as well. I'm curious if E301 is going to contest this. Shrine of Life, Sky Altar, excuse me, over here getting heavy swarmed by 93T. 93T taking it just a moment ago. 93T still holding this Desert Altar. My goodness. Wow. E301 I thought for sure had this back, and now it's looking very strong for 93T on the open field. It is still getting swarmed, and there are fresh marches here. They're still taking heavy damage, and there's still more 93T coming in, and they just happen to get here at the right time. Heraclius is the choice here. I don't know if that's the best play or Zenobia would be the best play for the heal, but I think both are really good. Running charge being used by E301 on this? What? One player with 3 marches gets running charge? That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, there goes some Alliance skill points and possibility to chase down a... they use Dust Up as well to try and slow the speed. Wow. 2 minutes remaining. Maybe the Dust Up was a little early. 2 minutes remaining until this arc spawns. E301 could have thwarted the efforts of 93T to try and get that arc, but they've actually done everything they can to give it right to them, using all of their speed-related skills way too early and on 3 marches for 1 player. Bummer for them. Heraclius doing everything he can to hold this. More and more 93T pouring over here to try and pop in. Don't know if it's going to be enough. Swarm looks very heavy for E301. This should have been blue so long ago. Points per minute, 740 to 120. All 4 altars are red. 93T showing their class here. We do have the Desert Altar, I'm sorry, Sky Altar about to start generating points for red as well. Points per minute now 890 to 150. The damage was already done. This is not necessary. This is not necessary. 1 minute until the arc spawns. 2 minutes, 26 seconds until the timer for the match is done. Do also make sure that you looked into the chat, guys. There is an actual code to be used in-game. If you've missed it, scroll back up. Magnetics has posted it for you. Altar's still holding for 93T. This is incredible. This is a 1v JST maneuver, 960 maneuver. Being able to hold it at the very minimum amount of troops needed and rotating the garrisons as best as possible. 10 seconds. I really wish they would try master strategy to see if it works. All 4. They say, I don't care who gets it. Somebody just get it. All 4 altars. Looks like Popo with the quick burn. Running charge being used by 93T. There we go. He has 56 seconds to get to the outpost. There's Dust Up as well being used on 93T. That should be expiring relatively soon. So they might even get a little bit of a speed boost. But as it sits right now, 58 seconds versus 38 seconds. 38 seconds wins. The slow carry to a 4th capture of the Ark of Osiris. 37 seconds, 41 seconds. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 30 seconds to 35 seconds. This is going to work. If blue had anybody over here, if E301 had anybody over here, they could stop this. But it's not going to happen. 16 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds on the match. This is going to be another capture. Total vision being used by E301. Imagine if they had Dust Up still, or if they had the Desert Storm skill. They could kill this troop remotely. But there we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's another arc capture. What a demonstration of devastation by 93T, the Scuffed Tigers. 93T Legend FF with the 180,000 MVP point total. I'm kind of scared to look at the summary, but here we go. 67 million kills on the E301 side to 89.5 million kills by the 93T Scuffed Tigers. Both alliances strong. Look at the KBK totals here. But 93T from an Osiris League standpoint, just a quite bit stronger. Almost double the occupation score and a 20,000 point 5 arc capture game. 20,000 points from Ark of Osiris. I'm not quite sure how long it's been since I've seen that. And 3,400 provisions. That's incredible. This is one of the higher point totals from a match that actually got fought from both sides that I've seen in Osiris League round of 16 in quite some time. Well done to the 93T Scuffed Tigers from Kingdom 93. 2 of their alliances making it to the next round. E301 doing everything that they could do, but unfortunately going down to 93T. I had a pleasure casting this 15 UTC hour, giving you what I could from this cast and showing you some nice little battles and nice little strategies being used by both teams. I look forward to seeing you guys next week as we continue on to the next round of Osiris League Season 7. This is Dragothian, your host. I was really, really excited to do that today for you. I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. And take care.